Pro runners take off seasons and take breaks, and if it's good enough for them, it's definitely good enough for us. Today, I'll be talking about what runners should do during the off season. What's poppin'? Jordan Thomas here. I'm at my new location in Los Angeles, California. Jessica and I are still settling in a bit. We've been here to start going into our third week now. I have been fortunate enough to get out and about, do a little bit eating, get some running in here and there, but without any scheduled races coming up, I want to talk to you today about 4 things that I think all runners should focus in on. One of the big overarching themes that I think about when it comes to off season is sharpening the saw. Now, this is a metaphor that I was familiarized with by way of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's a really great book and I would encourage you to check it out. But in short, what he talks about is a person sawing wood in the forest, and over a period of time, if you saw down enough wood, saw down enough trees, your saw is going to become dull and you'll need to take some time away and sharpen it up. That way you can get further in the long run. See what I did right there? The long run. First one is pure rest and recovery. Potentially in just a few days, up to a couple of months. It can vary widely depending on the type of runner you are, type of event. Rest and recovery is a key thing. It should be a key part of all of our training plans, but particularly after a key race, it's really good to put this time in. I needed to not run at all for these past 2 weeks. And it worked out really well because my target race of Aberdash to the finish wrapped up. I was in the process of a move, and so taking these last 2 weeks off was definitely much needed. If it's too much to consider absolute rest as your only option, maybe just consider going the unstructured route. Lay off of 2-a-days and having very structured time frames for your runs, and just get out there and have fun. Fall back in love with the overall sport. Just be sure to take some time off to allow your body to heal. Also, during this rest and recovery phase, make sure to seek out any medical attention that you may have been putting off. I stress this each year that I make one of these videos, but I think it's truly important. I've been very fortunate this year. The hamstring issue that I was presented with earlier this year has gone away. And that's largely due to number 2, cross train and strength train, baby. During the season, it's very easy to prioritize running over every other type of exercise. I know I'm guilty of doing this. The problem with doing this though is over a period of time, your body will break down. And sometimes as runners, it's very easy to get caught up with just the one dynamic of our sports. But in every other sport, they spend time doing other things to help augment that. And so while you're having this bit of unstructured running time, mixing in some yoga, some hiking. I was able to get up to Runyon Canyon out here recently, mix that in with a couple of beach runs, spending more time twice a week now in the gym lifting weights, just getting my overall strength in order. Number 3, review your season. This is the time to identify the workouts that went really well, the eating, the races, and also a time to look at, hey, what didn't go so well? You know what? That race that I did on this particular date, my sleep was terrible. I needed to do a better job sleeping. Hey, going into this workout, I felt like a little bit overworked. Okay, next time I'll dial back the mileage during that week. All of those type of things is gonna be what helps fuel that next training block, and you'll be that much smarter, that more prepared. I know one of the most interesting things that I was able to take a look at now that I've moved through the entire season is that during my mile training, I didn't do enough like 3K, 5K pace stuff, so I felt like I didn't have enough strength for the mile. And then on the flip side of that, on the 5K training block, I didn't do enough stuff at the mile, so I didn't feel like I had that one last gear. And so that's gonna help inform how I approach my races going into this next year. And number 4, this should go without saying, this should happen at any point in your training anyway, particularly while you're in this period of time. Enjoy your life, man. Like, this is the time for you to do some traveling, spend time with your loved ones, spend time with your loved ones while traveling. Take part in some hobbies and things like that that might have been a little bit too time consuming. Mess around with some physical recreation. I mentioned that in number 1. One of the things that I like to do is go back out to the track and do some like flying 40s or something like that. Now I'm not a sprinter anymore, but it just reminds me of a time of when I'm being on the track. Interestingly enough, I was listening to a recent episode of Tim Ferriss. We had LeBron James and his trainer, and LeBron was talking about how during the off season, he likes to go work out on the football field because it takes him back to that time. Listen, these are things that you just don't necessarily have time to do during the season, but they're fun to do afterwards. One other thing that I did that was really cool right before I left was at the day of the marathon, because I've been so caught up and have been prioritizing my own training, I wasn't able to film other people like how I set out to do this year. But took my camera gear, went up there and filmed for about 4 hours or so, during mile 21 of the race, and then used the time that I would typically be training to edit up the video and was able to get it out right as I left to come to California. So whatever your hobby is, whatever there's other things that you do in your life and enjoy, listen, I understand that as beautiful as running can be, it can also be very time consuming and other areas of your life may suffer. This is the time to be able to reclaim some of that other time that's very important to you. So my question of the day, what is the thing that you look forward to doing most during the off season? Stay tuned for additional episodes where I'll talk about what's going on in California, and I'll see you next time. Jordan Thomas, peace.